so in today's little mini lesson, we're going to go over how to deal with the open half guard. I find personally that this is a position that's very tricky. It's very difficult to pass. Even if they're not sweeping or submitting you, it can be very, very tough to get past. So let's start here. I have 3 ideas from this position. We're going to start from this. Some people call this the 93 guard. So I have 3 main ideas here. Number 1 is I'm going to attack the leg as a distraction. Sometimes as a finish. It's great. Number 2 is I'm going to pass straight away from this position. And number 3 is I'm going to advance my position into something closer than this. Because the closer I am to him, the more weight I can put on him. That's how I usually assign value to positions, is the more weight I can put on him, the better I consider my position. So, first, let's talk about attacking the leg / distracting the leg. When he's here, he's opening himself up a little bit to toe holds and to straight ankle locks, mainly, / Achilles lock. So when I'm here, a lot of the times what I'll do is I'll lace it up like this, go to the rear naked choke grip, and I push the toes into my chest like this, and I get, which is actually a toe hold. You see how the toe is folding in this way? This is actually a toe hold. A toe hold is not just that figure 4 grip. When the ankle starts to go that way, it's a toe hold. So that might not be of use to you if you're not up on a black belt. You can do a straight ankle lock from this position if the toe is not bent, but you may not want to risk it if you're a lower belt. If I can just keep the toe straight, I'll keep the pressure low so you can see what's happening. If I can keep the toe bent back this way without it bending, that's a straight ankle lock. This hyperextension is the ankle lock. I think there's some confusion as to what the Achilles lock is and what the straight ankle lock is, because usually they're kind of applied simultaneously. So just going down where there's not much pressure on his Achilles is just a straight ankle lock. And third thing I might do to distract, keep him aware of his feet positioning, is if it's on the outside here, I can go to the straight ankle lock with the rear naked choke grip and leaning back, trying to get the hyperextension of his foot this way. Do I get these? Maybe not as often, because I don't like falling to my back to try and get the foot attacks, because I never ever like giving up position. I'm always about passing the guard. But these are very useful as well, because he suddenly becomes a little bit more conscious of where his foot is. So you can attack there, and sometimes he brings his legs down, and you're able to get in closer like this and do these pass. So attack the leg / distract the leg is one strategy here. Now, number 2 is, without having to deal with his grips, I can try passing straight away from this position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to posture up a little bit, and I can use my hand. And this arm, if you come over to this side here, this arm is going to swim in and grab his belt like this. So I'm going to control his ankle like this, and I shrug this down, keeping it in nice and tight towards his butt, because when it's on his butt, it has very little power. Anytime I'm passing straight away from this 93 guard position, I'm usually controlling this foot in some manner. So I'm here, playing the position. I use this, I'm going to swim in and get this position to trap. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my hand, come over to this side. And if he has long legs, this is a little bit more useful of a step. I'm going to push this down in this way. Now, I'm going to take my knee and put it in right by his hip. As I do that, I grab behind his back here, and I sit on my hip. From here, you can just backstep from this position, but if you need to, you can use help with your other foot like this to help pin it to the ground a little bit so you can backstep. Now, I pin the hips right away and lock in this motion to turn his hips this way, which is kind of some basics from the side control there. Now come around in front here. So the cool thing I think about video is you can watch that as many times as you want, so I don't need to show it again. Number 2, especially if he's playing this leg lasso version, but his leg is open more, it's not very closed, I can do this variation. First I need to get rid of this grip. I'm going to lean backwards, just briefly, and bring my hand, not to this side straight away, but behind his other side. So I lean back just a little bit so it strains his grip. I go here and I use my other hand, oh sorry, keep a good grip. I use my other hand to push it to the back side here. You come over here so you can see this angle here. Now I'm going to grab his belt and I'm going to shimmy my shoulder down and put my head on this side. Now if you notice, this is the same concept as the other one. I'm trapping his ankle, but in a different way. I'm trapping it on the other side. The first one was like this, trapping, and this one with the grip still is like this. Now I have to be careful that this doesn't get too high. I have to put it right in the crook of my arm and I shimmy it down. Now, the critical thing here, I'm basically going to do an over-under pass. The critical thing here, if you remember some of your over-under concepts, is I cannot let my head get pushed down in this space here. If that happens, I'm in a little bit of trouble. So I'm going to make the grip on his pants, and I bury my head in his hip on this side, looking in this direction over here. Now, I'm going to get on my toes, and I'm going to walk this way, the opposite way. So he's kind of like at 12 o'clock, I'm at 6 o'clock. Now, I'm going to raise my leg and put it directly underneath his other leg. That makes it hard for the hip to escape into me. Now, this is kind of tricky, because if he keeps this grip here, you don't get points yet. So, one little trick that I can use is I start to circle until I can circle no more with this hand here. And then I use my forehead. And it gives a little leverage to get that final finding of the shin to pop it off. And then I start to establish the position here. So, those are two passes to pass straight away off that position. Now, a lot of the times, when you're attacking the leg to distraction, when you're working these passes, what happens, maybe his leg is very long, it sticks out very far, but you see how his legs came together when I tried this pass here? So what I can do if I'm having trouble with this is I can switch into lacing his legs this way. And this is a lot different than this position because I can start to put weight with my shoulder on his leg. So I'm going to get my grip here and play this position. This is a huge advantage. Generally for me, if I get this position, I can generally pass or at least threaten him to become very, very defensive from this position. So, I'm going to make an awkward post with this leg. It's not out completely. It's like a little bit up like this. Keep a good block here. Sometimes when you're locking, you can't really slice your leg through because it's real tight. So, I'm going to open my body towards this way, completely opposite of the camera. And now, I'm going to go back very quickly and throw my body this way as I sprawl my left leg, or my right leg back in a single leg sprawl. Like this. And notice my leg positioning. A little bent, my foot is rooted to the floor, and this hip is on the ground. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to eskrima, or shin to shin, my back leg. As I bring my hip up a little bit, I just remove my knee, I drop my hip again, and I start to slide into home plate, make my grip deeper. Up here, I get a thumb and grip behind his neck. Come up here and check out the thumb and grip. I don't need to go too far behind. I get the thumb and grip. And as soon as I clear the point of his knee with my hip down there, I'm going to extend both of my arms like this. Take a look at this back grip right here. When I'm here, this hand, my right hand, straightens and holds. So it's both of my hands working in that direction there. So if I can ever, in this open half guard, get to this position where, for whatever reason, he's scared here for the ankle lock, he turns his knee in, boom, I get here and here. Immediately I post, open up, and right there. Guys, hold on to this for dear life right here. They make everything real tight. It's hard. You notice that my opponent is right here. He made this adjustment in. I have to undo that space that I gave him. He can't be too cradled up like this. Because then he starts fishing under here, and then I'm in the deep half guard. No good. I cannot allow that angle from this position. So from right here, I've got a little bit of weight on my shoulder. I make the awkward post. And now look, I open up this way, because when he's holding on with these legs, real cross, real hard, I need to get everything I can to get that position. Shin to shin, remove the knee, drop the hip, slide, make my grip deeper, 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 deeper. I cleared the knee, I felt it. Now I extend and pull. Some things that you need to be careful of here. I cannot go too deep here because my opponent can arm lock me. Where, yeah, you should do the straight one here, you get the tap. It's a quick submission, very dangerous. Another thing is you need to learn how to navigate this landscape when he has grips. I'm just showing you the passes, but it's not real. Because my opponent is either going to be making this grip and maybe this grip, or he might be making this grip underneath here, going for the omoplata ever. Like as I go for the pass, I get it free, I get free. The guy goes inverted, can you go do that? And he gets the omoplata. So, these are just some ideas, and you need to learn how to navigate these ideas within the landscape of what he's trying offensively. I hope these tips helped.